Hello, learners. Welcome to the part 3 of our session 2. Right? In the part 3 governance portion, we'll discuss the remaining portion of our governance. In the first two parts, we've already discussed initiatives, institutions, flagship, and policies. Now, in the last part, we'll be discussing just the remaining portion, that is funds, some apps and portals, and some state government initiatives, some of the awards which have been in news. I'm covering that here only. Right? Okay. So, starting from the apps and portals, first is Tatpar app. Tatpar means always committed. Tatpar is a Hindi word, right? So, Tatpar app is launched by the Delhi Police, has launched Tatpar app to provide safety and an convenient 24/7 online mode to its citizen. Okay, Tatpar app by Delhi Police. Okay. So, Tatpar app is basically here you can see citizens can navigate to their nearest police station, traffic pit, prepaid taxi booth. On a single touch, user will be provided with the direction as well as the complete contact detail with the concerned SHO. So, for example, if you're writing the police initiative, right? So, improving the police citizen connect, you can say overall, right? So, this particular Tatpar app is there. Next is Jan Suchna portal, really important initiative. That should it's in the state of Rajasthan. I have covered it in fact, but just to covering it because that's really important initiative. So it's a remarkable achievement in the furtherance of the right to information, especially section 4 of the RTI Act that deals with the proactive disclosure of the information. So section 4 of an RTI is also, you need to remember, that says that the citizen on the first hand do not need to apply the RTI at all. All the informations that citizen needs should be already there on the portal. Government should be transparent enough to put all the information on the portal itself, right? This if this is done efficiently, then the problems with the RTI, whatever the problems are coming, many of the problems will be reduced itself, right? So section 4 says that proactive disclosure of the information, and that is this Jan Suchna portal is all about, right? So, government of Rajasthan has taken steps to train citizens so that they are aware of the facilities available. This is by itself may not be enough. Therefore, decided to boost host JSP in the decentralized location, right down to the municipal ward and the panchayat level. Also involving the common service center in this process, because common service center can be really a game changer if integrated with the Jan Suchna portal, right? So, if you are wondering, Jan Suchna portal means public information portal. So, on which all these informations, right, will be provided to the people on these topics. Next is important development, that is Indian Urban Data Exchange, IUDX. So, it's an open source software program aimed at enabling city to harness the full potential of the enormous data that is generated in a smart city. So the idea behind this data exchange is, for example, there is a transport mechanism, there is a shopping complex, there is another web portal. So citizens are generating a lot of data on these locations. On the transport, for example, there is one, let's say safety kit, safety things, right? Some educational portal is there, some health portal is there, some health hospitals are there. So the citizens are generating a lot of data into silos. So connecting all those data, providing an exchange where this data can be exchanged for better policy making. So this is what this Indian Urban Data Exchange is working for. It is launched by the IISc, that is Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, but it's an initiative of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay, you need to keep that in mind. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs initiative. How? Instead of moving data into a central repository, this approach chooses to interconnect the disparate and distributed entities through a common data exchange. Okay, so common data exchange is there. So monitoring of IDX will be done by the Open Smart City of India, will be set up as a non-profit startup company with the center and state governments official, smart city official, researchers and industrial players to set up, and they will scale up this particular Indian Urban Data Exchange. Okay. So the future plans is The Indian Urban Data Exchange set up by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for its smart city would be expanded eventually to lead to a marketplace. It will provide open data platform for the 100 cities would be expanded to cover 500 cities by 2022 and all the urban center in the India by 2024. Okay. So this is the IUDX. So IUDX will be having a data from an integration of all the stakeholders, cities, citizen, industry, entrepreneurs, government, academia, right? And all those you can use this open data to for their respective purposes. It will be an open data. Open data superhighway it was called in Niti Aayog. We need to develop that, and this is all mentioned there. Professor Bharadwaj is there at this. They have said it's an open source software aimed at enabling cities to harness the full potential of the enormous data being generated in our smart city that we have already discussed. Right. So the first city, the Pune has become the first smart city in the country to use this IUDX to launch its pilot urban data exchange in collaboration with ISC Bangalore and Smart City Mission, Government of India. Okay. So this is city of Pune. Next is ICE-. ICE-. So ICE- is basically, it's an ease of doing business monitoring dashboard for Indian customers. Right. So it aims at helping public see the daily customs clearing times of the import cargo, right? So it is basically for the ease of doing business, you can say, ease of transactions, ease of people coming there, people for the Indian customs at the airport, because a lot of delay is there at the customs time, right? So it is developed by CBIC, that is Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom, in collaboration with the NIC, National Informatics Center. One more app that we have already discussed, the Atithi app, right? If you remember, the mobile app for filling the customer declaration for traveler visiting in India. Atithi at the Indian customer. I have shown you the screenshots as well. And iDash is complementary to it. So CBC is proud to unveil two of its latest IT innovation. Remember, CBIC is there, Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs. So IC-Dash and Atithi app. Okay. Next is eBasta. So from the name itself, eBasta app. So Basta, that is the bag, school bags. So a framework to make school books accessible in the digital form as ebooks. If you have seen the small children, they carry so huge bags on their back. So huge bag on their back. So in the government, in the coming of draft education policy, they have also creating a guidelines for the weight that should be there. The minimum weight developed by CDAC. Okay. So this is the eBasta portal. Okay, so easy access to the digital data content, download Android app from school books to ebooks, anywhere, anytime learning, eBasta app, right? Okay. Next is steel import monitoring system. So steel import. So from the name itself, if the ministry is asked, very logical leak you can connect that it will be a commerce ministry under Directorate General of the Foreign Trade. So many of the things you don't have to cram, because UPSC, if you start cramming all these facts, then it will become so tough, right? So it will be easier for us to apply it logically as well. So what is monitoring system is for? In a bid to clamp down the dumping of iron and steel imports, and also the over and under invoicing of these products, the government has removed these items from the free category and made it mandatory for importers to apply in advance for the registration of their import. So they have to apply for the registration if they want to import these. So steps is taken because India has been the receiving end of the large amount of steel dumping due to ongoing trade war versus US and the China. So many of the steel from China is coming to the India, and it seems to be dumped and is harming our own domestic steel manufacturing. So SIMS is not a licensing mechanism, but that nobody will be stopped from importing. So remember that we are not going into the licensing regime. There are fears that doing so will impact the free trade. Again, the government is keeping a new licensing regime, but they have specified that this is not a licensing regime. It will be just a monitoring mechanism. Okay. This is all. Now some of the funds in news. Only one fund we have, that is the Pace Setter Fund. So what is Pace Setter Fund? So Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Remember Ministry of New and Renewable Energy awarded grants for the 4 projects in the second round of the Pacesetter Fund program. The Pacesetter Fund program was constituted by India and the US in 2015 as a joint fund aimed to provide the early stage grant funding to accelerate the commercialization of innovative off-grid clean project. So related to the energy, and that is why it becomes even more important, right? To provide the early stage grant funding to accelerate the commercialization of the innovative off-grid clean energy product system and the business models. Okay, so this is the Pacesetter Fund. The mission of the Pacesetter Fund is to accelerate the commercialization that we have discussed, right? So remember that it's a India-US partnership to advance the clean energy. Okay. Next is some state government's initiative. First is International Women Trade Center. So it is a part of the Kerala government's Gender Park Vision 2020. So one of the gender empowerment mission of the Kerala government. So Kerala will set up the country's first International Women Trade Center in consonance with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal in the Kozhikode. It's a key project of the state Gender Park Vision. The facility will have the women startup and the incubation center and the business centers and the offices, right? Okay, so the first phase of the IWTC being executed under the Gender Park Vision 2020 is scheduled to be completed by 2021. One of the important topic, the question can be asked with respect to the Gender Park, right? Department of Social Justice, Government of Kerala, is She Taxi. So it's a PPP mode model that you can see. They provided for the women's safety, right? So interdisciplinary, inclusive, community-based participatory approach to the empowerment. Gender Park, remember Gender Park initiative by the Kerala government. Next is the Telangana government has declared 2020 as the year of artificial intelligence. I think everyone should declare 2020 as the year of COVID crisis, but they have declared, Telangana government has declared this year month as the state year of artificial intelligence. That's all. So IT Minister KT Ramarao will formally make announcement on January 2 declaring 2020 as the year of AI and release the calendar of event in the next 12 months, right? It will see a signing of MOUs between the government and the AI startups. Okay. The Information Technology Ministry is also in the process of preparing a document with a strategy framework to offer the incentive exclusive to the AI initiatives, right? Okay. Now 2 awards in news. First is the Golden Global Goalkeeper Award. So Global Goalkeeper Award given to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, honored with the Global Goalkeeper Award by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So for the Swachh Bharat mission, they have been awarded this particular project, okay, for creating such a huge number of toilets, right? And I'll say that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, there will be few of the lacunae remaining, but overall you can see this project as a success, right? Okay. So the last fact of the discussion today, we'll discuss National Water Mission Awards. So basically these awards are for the incentivization to work for the water conservation. Different awards category have been decided that aims to galvanize the efforts toward the water conservation. So recently the first annual water mission awards have been presented by the National Water Mission and Development Department of the Water Resource, River Development and the Ganga Rejuvenation under Ministry of Jal Shakti have initiated this particular awards. Why? To recognize the excellence in the water conservation, efficient water use and sustainable water management practices. Okay. So these are the water. There are different categories. The awards have been given in the 10 categories under the 5 goals of the National Water Mission. So they have defined the 4 categories and we don't have to remember that because it's just remember that it's a mission of Ministry of Jal Shakti and the first time they have come up with this particular award. These 2 things you have to remember, right? Okay, so I think that's it for our governance. So in the governance, we have completed our governance. Very small video. This one is a relatively small video. So in the first video, second video and third video, we have finished the governance portion of our September month. We will see international affairs in the next session, right? Okay, then see you in the next class. Thank you.